Welcome to the 1954 Formula One season. After 2 years of continued criticism of the Formula 2 regulations that the cars simply weren't fast enough to get into any difficulties, the sport finally returned to proper Formula 1 machinery, with the main change being the increased engine size. The change opened the door for some major players, and one team in particular that hadn't been seen in Grand Prix racing since World War II. But first, the driver market. The big story was Alberto Ascari leaving Ferrari after winning back-to-back championships. He had a salary dispute with the team and instead signed with the newly formed Lancia. However, Lancia's car wouldn't be ready until the very last race. So the defending champion was forced to watch most of the season from the sidelines, making occasional guest appearances for Maserati and Ferrari in the meantime. This left Ferrari without their star driver heading into F1's new era. The 1950 champion Nino Farina was set to lead them instead, with race winners Gonzalez and Hawthorne alongside. Fangio, meanwhile, agreed to join Mercedes, but since their car wouldn't be ready until the summer, he started the season at Maserati. The race calendar saw a few changes. The Dutch Grand Prix got cancelled due to financial reasons, while the Spanish Grand Prix made its return after skipping 2 years because of the same reason. Even though the number of races remained unchanged, the number of best results that counted towards the championship was increased from 4 to 5. The season opened in Argentina, again in January. After the first Grand Prix in Buenos Aires in 1953, various changes were made to improve the safety of the circuit and protection of the fans. The organizers also decided to run the track in reverse for some reason, which actually ended up making the lap faster. The new 2.5-liter cars were nowhere near ready for most teams come the Argentine Grand Prix, so the grid consisted entirely of the previous season's machinery adapted for the new rules. Farina took pole ahead of Gonzalez and Fangio, making him the oldest pole sitter to this day. Gonzalez had a poor first few laps, but then launched a recovery drive to take the lead on lap 15. Then the rain arrived. Gonzalez and Hawthorne spun, while Farina stopped to change his helmet visor. Fangio took the lead, but the drying track meant that he wasn't up to pace with the Ferraris, and he dropped to third. Rain hit the track again, and you guessed it. Fangio retook the race lead and pitted for tires. Ferrari's team manager lodged a protest against Fangio's pit stop because he thought too many mechanics had worked on the Maserati. Confident that the protest would be upheld, he signaled to his drivers to stop fighting Fangio and cruise home. To his disappointment, the FIA rejected the protest and the results stood, handing Fangio his first home win. The Belgian Grand Prix followed in June after a near 5-month break. Fangio took pole, breaking his own lap record from 51. Before the start of the race, an additional car lined up on the grid behind the main competitors as it was used to record authentic scenes for an upcoming movie. Oh wait, not this one. Fangio had a poor start and lost the lead to Gonzalez, who retired in lap 1 when his engine cut short. Fangio had to make an unplanned stop as the strap on his helmet visor broke. He recovered to take the lead, and with Farina retiring from the race as well, was comfortable up front. In second place was Ferrari's Mike Hawthorne. His pace dropped in the following laps, and Ferrari called him in. He collapsed over the wheel, and the team handed his car to Gonzalez. Gonzalez identified the problem within a couple of laps. The exhaust pipe had broken, leaking fumes into the cockpit. As all the Ferraris faced issues, Fangio came victorious once again. Then, at the French Grand Prix in Rennes, everything changed. Mercedes arrived with its iconic silver arrows, rocking the distinctive streamlined bodywork, unlike any other car on the grid. Fangio joined the team as agreed. His place at Maserati went to Ascari, who was still waiting for Lancia's challenger to be ready. Mercedes immediately became the car to beat. Fangio got pole position, and Ferrari struggled to keep up in the race. Only Gonzalez's Ferrari could initially stay with them until his engine gave up. Fangio and his teammate Carl Kling were evenly matched all race. Ultimately, team orders were used to hand Fangio the victory. The streamlined bodywork hurt Mercedes at the twistier Silverstone circuit. Gonzalez led from the start and brought Ferrari's first win of the season. Fangio couldn't quite stay with him, eventually falling to fourth with technical troubles. The German Grand Prix at the Nürburgring was a weekend overshadowed by tragedy. Onofre Marimon, one of the most promising young drivers in the field and a favorite on the Maserati team, died in an accident during practice. It was the first fatal accident during an F1 championship weekend. Following the loss, the Maserati Works team withdrew from the race. Having taken their lesson from Silverstone, Mercedes switched to a more conventional, open-wheel bodywork. Fangio won again, with the two Ferraris of Hawthorn and Gonzalez behind. With a chance to wrap up the title in Switzerland, Fangio didn't mess around. He took the lead at the start, never to let it go. He sealed the championship with 2 races still left. Then he won again in Italy for good measure. And in Spain, at the finale, Lancia finally arrived. Ascari was electrifying on Lancia's debut. He was fastest in qualifying and pulled away at the front during the race, until his clutch gave out on lap 9. Eventually, it was Hawthorn who won after the leading drivers dropped out one by one. So, Fangio took the title with 42 points, becoming the only driver in Formula 1 history to win a championship driving for 2 different teams in the same season. Gonzalez was runner-up and Hawthorn third, split by less than a point. But what in the world are those points totals? We had half points in the previous seasons due to sharing cars or sharing the fastest lap point, but how can a driver even get 1/7 or 9/14 of a point? Well, at the British Grand Prix in 1954, the race lap times were measured to the nearest second instead of to the nearest tenth. This is obviously really poor precision for F1, even for the 1950s standards. 7 drivers set the same fastest lap at 1 minute and 50 seconds, and as the FIA seemed to be quite short on championship points, the single fastest lap point was distributed equally between all 7 drivers. Gonzalez and Hawthorn were among these, and Hawthorn had another result where he shared cars and got half points, leading to his season total of 24 and 9/14 points. The defending champion Ascari drove for 3 different teams and retired from all 4 races he took part in, ending one of the most disappointing title defenses. 1954 ended with Mercedes firmly in control, a champion who'd somehow managed to win while driving for 2 teams in 1 year, and a new car from Lancia that had shown serious pace to give people something to think about for the next season. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you for the 1955 season.